Alright, hey, hi, hello. How's it going, guys? My name is ZetaRayZod, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, before I begin, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on to stay up to date on all my latest videos. So, last we left off, we had just finished off the trial that we were accused of murder, and we are on the ship because Kazuma smuggled us on board to take us to England with him so we can both become great lawyers. But unfortunately, tragedy strikes, and Kazuma is dead. Unfortunately, and because we were in the room with him and the room was locked, they are blaming us for the murder. So right now we are just looking through the clues that they left behind, just so we can see like what's going on and stuff. Okay, already looked at that. Now look at this. Seigi, Japanese word for justice. The brushstroke's straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? I have no motive, Susato-san. Come on. Even though you stowed away on the ship? Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. It's not fun to talk to the Russian fella just yet. I just want to look around. I'm supposed to press left click apparently to move, but I can't. So do I have to do it like that? There we go. Okay, let's look at the wardrobe. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yeah, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. I suppose not. No, sadly not. Okay, how about this? Yeah, look at this. Because I had a theory that maybe someone climbed through that, you know. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough. Or something like that? I suppose. Maybe that's it. That's sus already. Someone probably climbed through that thing. Let's look at this desk. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. Damn, lady. Oops, I gotta move my mouse, sorry. Was it there the whole time? Ooh. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. Looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means, what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! Oh, what you flippy, lady? I fall on my face again. It's out of the question. What? Kazuma-san may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Yeah, Susato-san, come on. Alright, I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? What the frick? When did he show up? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. What the heck is he doing? As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... He's like, that's weird over there. You noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here. But he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruto-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Oh, well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. Something very unusual about him. Maybe the way he's sitting? Is he investigating Kazuma's desk or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, I simply must talk with him. I'm not just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost like controllably excited? By the way, I expect that you noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get the suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. No, I will not. Go away, Herlock. Herlock Sholmes. It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yeah, it carries a lot of memories for me. It's because Kazuma like smuggled another photo in that. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how it's stowed away in this vessel. It was brought on board inside that case. Ah, yes. It says this way up in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed to the floor in here. Don't you have that arrow? That's why, right? Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than the Susato takedown. Broke a back and everything. Have I seen everything? How about the bed? How about this? This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? Sounds almost magical. The string you need to, like, get that. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. Nobody coming? I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. Yeah, wow. Lowly Japanese people, come on, guys. You are valued members of society. Okay, let's talk to Herlock Sholmes. That weirdo. Excuse me. Shit, what voice do I get to Herlock? Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh. It's a critical point in my investigation. Yeah, this is a critical point. No. Just give him a high voice. I don't know. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. And then he disappears. Oh my god. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Huh! What exactly were you doing in Kazuma's desk just now? Since Kazuma's dead, should I just give him Kazuma's voice? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry, what do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything's clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Wrong. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in the most troubling predicament. Oh. Well, that's true, at least. But how? I wasn't in Afghanistan, Susato-san. You know this. How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction. Hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the moribund occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarized the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Even Susato-san should know this. Just to be clear, you're talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Cool. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. The bill. Sato, come on. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-san. Are you shitting me? What? And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior now to hold us up. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way I... She flipped me again. Come on, lady. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. Then again, we have to remember she's 16, I think. Or was it 18? How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes! I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously! Oh, forgive me. And as for you! What kind of deduction was that? You're just saying the first thing that came to your head! Herlock Sholmes, not the best detective! Ah, but was I not right? Whilst adventuring towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Do you not? Well, yeah, maybe. Ha! There you have it. You see. What do you make of that, hmm? Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, and our observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with brassy certitude, and more often than not, I'm right. Huh. I don't think you've introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I'm none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes. So, it's really you? The actual Herlock Sholmes? Is it really him? The very same! Inimitable, actual Herlock Sholmes! Do you know this man, Susato-san? It's like, looking at him weirdly, getting ready to, like, strangle him with my handcuffs. The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. I haven't. What planet have I been living on then? I must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Are you kidding me? He thought I was Russian. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? I'm gonna look around, sir. Look at that. Can I look at the door? Let's look at his katana. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yeah, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring on this trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Anything else before oh, tablecloth. There's nothing on this table at all. Plate and cutlery all over the floor for some reason. Yeah, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? It's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No. That's not what I meant. Come on. Okay, I think we've seen everything. So let's talk to the gentleman. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes at the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. Investigation, I mean? Slow. Grandmother told me Japanese people not make jokes, but it's true. It's not true, I see. Sorry? Criminal asking investigator for information about crime. Very funny. Oh. Was it supposed to be a joke? He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Yet, of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. Huh. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Who am I? I think I've seen everything. And I don't have any evidence. Herlock Sholmes, 34. Okay, have I seen everything? I'm gonna use my mouse again. Here. Okay, have I seen everything? I think I have, so let's go back to our original spot and let's go back up. Let's converse. Kazuma's death. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. You're welcome. You're welcome! It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. Because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, getting entered to the scene of the crime. He's just like huddled there in the middle. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry, British won't say Naruhodo, they'll say Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? Two facts, you say? What were the two facts, sir? Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let's be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yeah, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. Strong words, Sholmes. The two facts I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Excuse me. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian? Because he wrote in Cyrillic? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That's Russian word for wardrobe. Well, that's not good. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find a native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? No, he wasn't. Initially, I considered Garderob, maybe the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so, I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. School uniforms are traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. Right. Damn, she's dense. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message. Might analyze it for possible hidden details. Oh, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Oh, dip, it's really Kazuma. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yeah, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. That's rough, man. Big oof. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yeah, thank you. Photograph of the crime scene has been entered in the court record. Wardrobe? Is it really though? I mean, Herlock Sholmes has been wrong about me being Russian so far. He might be wrong about that being wardrobe. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Ah yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining the train of reasoning to me, do you think? I don't know what that means. Certainly, if it interests you. Maybe it says certainly. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. So, is Sholmes speaking Japanese right now, or what? Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. The now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in? Actually, it was the other details I was more hoping to discuss. You know, The merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah yes, the more sordid details. It was fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... That looks nothing like me! Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. I came from Japan, dude. What the? This vessel made a port call in Shanghai yesterday. Oh, okay. And last night, the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? Sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded that he was Russian because of what Kazuma-san wrote on the floor. You know why? I have a feeling that maybe that Russian guy is actually on the ship, correct? And he killed Kazuma because Kazuma found out something about him. That's why he wrote it in Russian. It was a simple act of reason to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who had killed the very man who helped him escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No. How could it be? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Oh, please. Please. And I might add, your name does not appear in the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Oh, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he's plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There could be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? I don't think so. What about the part where he said it was just from return from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. So it's not deduction, you just said things you already, that someone already knows. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan, well... He doesn't know what it's called, so what would... Afghanistan? Afghanistan? Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. Takes it, throws it away. I absorb all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. The article about the revolution has been entered in the court record. Okay. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. Okay, let's see. Who's that? This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. Look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? It's because she has a tiara on her head. She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Go! He's like looking over our shoulder. And because he's so tall, it's just towering. He's like that. He's like peeking over like that, like Slender Man bending down looking. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from a dressing room. Wearing a diamond tiara, you see the picture, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Sato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It seems the director is beside herself in worry. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The company's most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. Yeah, lies. They just want the tiara. They requested international assistance at all ports of sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even gonna dignify that response, Naruto. Okay. Coolio. I guess it's done and dusted with. Now what? Cast your eyes over it sometime, if the interest takes you. Though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. You can hope to read it. But I suppose it won't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Okay. What were you just investigating? I don't care about Herlock Sholmes. I should. You know what? I think I should. Maybe. I think we might be friends, actually. Since Kazuma's gone, this might be, like, my next friend. Before we start talking, you're examining Kazuma's desk, aren't you? Kazuma? 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 Oh, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. Okay, we see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Kazuma's keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic! It's something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? Like he's a pro. It's my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. If he knows it's Japanese, why is he still saying we're Russian? Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. She's not gonna do anything, is she? Susato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective in one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely, this diary belonged to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author was cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese? A spattering, dear boy, a smattering. Just like a little bit. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado. I don't know what nado means. Mikado. Mikado. I don't know what that is either. Trust you're suitably impressed. Huh. This diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that showing off about before then? If you'd be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. So she can read it, but I can't. Much obliged, dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. Never heard that expression before. Ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to that? To the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yeah, the adjoining cabin. This was started being entered. Okay. Speckled band, interesting. Okay, let's ask you about him being a great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what's your name again? Ooh, Naruhodo, not pulling any punches. Indeed, I'm none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? Herlock. No, I'm no her. I'm no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. You never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then. Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you started to think you really are a detective? Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Yeah, I was thinking like maybe that might be the case since it's a bit incompetent, but if you remember the little anime cutscene that was showing, he had like a whole bunch of like chemicals and stuff that, you know, that would help with the investigation, so I don't think he's a fake. Backward? A trusty biographer reports my great detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Oh no. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether to take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form. Deduction is just observations, not necessarily... I'm just gonna point out right now, like, deduction, maybe it might work, but it's not accurate. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if a person walks with a limp, you assume, oh look, war veteran. That's not necessarily the case. He might have gotten injured, like, I don't know, stubbing a toe on a table, and he's actually like a lawyer, you know? Deduction isn't an accurate science. You need to follow deduction with like hard evidence or something. Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle reactions in the subject. Also, it's more psychological deduction. It's about reading the micro expressions of the people you're looking at, right? A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Okay, I have to agree. And the trained logician makes deduction for this data in the blink of an eye. Sure, but again, it's assumptions. Like what Herlock Sholmes. A perfectly good example is when Herlock Sholmes assumed Naruhodo was a Russian, simply because the guy Kazuma wrote Russian when he died, and because we're wearing the same outfits, he assumed that he wrote in Russian, and you know, so we must be Russian. So that's what I mean by deduction isn't accurate. It's not an accurate science. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I returned both for observation and for deduction. And fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. Boy, oh boy. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writing in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose we're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds revel at stagnation and crave mental exaltation. It should be noted that Sherlock Holmes in the book was a drug addict. So, is Sholmes an addict? So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. I think in the book he was a cocaine and a cigarette addict. Tobacco. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? Huh. No, that'll be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. These metal bracelets? They're for chi. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as a culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Did he? Dear me, you're clearly misguided. I have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You quite sure? Oh, well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So, what? Were you looking at my knees before? Super detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Ha 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 ha. Now he's just being played rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing here for? Huh? I must go investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can. Hiya! She flipped me over. Did she break the handcuffs at least? After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? Just 5 minutes ago, you were willing to accept that I was to blame. You're just gonna roll over and accept your fate? Ugh, as if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. So does she believe I'm innocent or what? I don't get it. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. Situation doesn't look good for me. There's still things I can do to help myself. I go to the toilet. Or sleep. I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. Bring the real culprit to justice. Thanks to that so-called detective, I'm even more struck inside this cabin than I was before. For the time being, I suppose I just have to focus my efforts on investigating in here. Have I not seen everything already? Okay, wait. I want to go back to this. Maybe we can look at the grill again. No. Have you seen everything? I've seen everything. Just making sure. Yeah, let's talk to the guy again. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. Oh, you're saying the same thing again, huh? To help him? Oh, criminal asking prison guard help escape. Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Yet. You stay in cabin until next port. Then it's up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. Alright. What's the point trying to appeal to this man's better nature? That's for sure. Now what? Oh, door. When I went for help and the crewmen forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy. It just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, if the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out the cabin, that's for sure. No wonder everyone suspects me, oh my gosh. She glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once a detective novel that the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal and be sealed together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using the needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. She glares at me like that. I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh, look over there. It's Hosonaga-san. The crewman, you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try. It's Hosonaga-san. Can't you tell? Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no. It's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help feeling I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, yeah, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. In the cutscene, he was standing right next to you. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my life. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship. Again? You're just a regular detective. What kind of special orders are you doing? You should at least seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. Perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave this episode here. It's just a bunch of us. It's just a bunch of gathering evidence and stuff, but we're slowly getting it. I mean, I did say in the previous episode that I feel like that vent is gonna be important, and it is. So we'll find out what it is in the next episode. But for now, if you like what you see and you like what you hear, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on to stay up to date on all my latest videos. As always, be safe, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace!